Hi, this is Janice with Needles and Fashions, and I'm back again to give you a tutorial on the tank top I'll be making using McCall's pattern 6359. I'm going to be making a variation of UC. I have cut my front piece and my back piece on the fold together. The only piece of the pattern that I will not be using is the number 11, the yoke for the back. Instead of doing a yoke and a lace as it's listed on the actual pattern, I went ahead and cut some facing for the front and the back, and I basically did this cutting out the top, the top edges of the front, and then going about halfway down and making it curved at the bottom, so it's very short. And this is going to overlay for the front. Did the same thing with the back because I'm actually going to be attaching some spaghetti straps to form as the yoke in the back. So it's the first time that I'm doing this, so you're going to see me kind of struggle through this, trial by fire. I've never made this before, so I went ahead and made the spaghetti straps already. I'll put a link in the comment box so that you can have the link to making spaghetti straps, or you can visit my blog, www.needlesandfashion.blogspot.com, to look at other projects where I made spaghetti straps too, and I'll post it in the post for this particular shirt. So this is a very simple top. The yoke, again, is not going to be attached. I'm going to be using this, so I'm going to have to kind of switch off and switch to my dress form once I construct the shirt, so that I can measure out the length of the shoulder straps and go ahead and attach those last. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is taking the front piece and I'm going to pin and attach this facing. Before I put this up there, I'm going to grab my spaghetti straps. I made 3 for each side. I was going to make 4, but it's like one of those things that I really don't like doing. So I just wanted to kind of test this out. So I'm just going to space this spaghetti straps, space them out evenly. And since I'm going to be having facing, I won't have to hem the sides, so I can go as far to the edge as I need to. I'm just going to put these in here a little bit past the top. Move this out the way. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. And what I'm going to do is, once I get these spaghetti straps and get the shirt constructed, I'm going to actually have the spaghetti straps going from, say, the left shoulder to the right inner part of the yoke, and then from the right shoulder to the left side of the yoke. So I'm going to place this on top. And I'm just going to put 3 pins in it because I want to pin each spaghetti strap in place. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Okay, so that's done. Now, one thing I probably should have did before I started this was went ahead and put my darts on the side, but because this is not, the facing is not going to come down to my darts, I'm not going to worry about that right this second. So it's okay that I missed it, but I'll get back to that. I'm just going to fix this one over just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and sew this with a very small seam allowance, about 1/4 inch or so. Okay, so I have the right side done. Take these pins out. I'm going to do this side, and then we're going to attach the rest of the facing on. I just want to get these parts anchored down first so they don't move. Okay, so I have that attached, and then what I'm going to go and do is attach the rest of this yoke on, this facing, sorry. Just make sure it's aligned. This last portion here. You want to make sure that when you're working on the edge that you don't get that spaghetti strap stuck in there, so I like to move that over just a little bit. Or you can do like right on you would do and pin it. And that's done. I'm just going to clip off some of the excess seam. Pour out the neckline here. Okay, so what I can do now is turn this inside out. And I have my spaghetti straps. Now what I did was made these very long. Obviously not going to use all this length. I use about 18 inches. So I have my top constructed. As you can see, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go in and prep the back of the shirt. Now, the thing is about this pattern is, in order to attach the back, you have to, you know, get your facing on. My facing, I'm not going to do at first because I want to make sure that I insert my facing or my spaghetti straps into the facing. So I'm just going to kind of put this on the dress form and pin it to the dress form just to get some sizing markings, and then I'll go on to adding the facing to the back with the spaghetti straps in it, and then we'll be pretty much almost done. We'll attach the two at the sides, and then we'll be done with the shirt. Very simple, like a 30-40 minute process, even including the cutting of the garment. Okay, so I'm back, and I went ahead and attached my the front of my shirt and the back to my dress form. I went ahead and pinned it on, and as you can see here, it has the spaghetti straps. Needs good pressing, but it's besides the point right now. And I went ahead, as you can see on the back, I went and attached the back of it. Now, I didn't put my facing on again because it's going to depend. I want to make sure that when I sew these, I already have my spaghetti straps already measured. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin my straps on each side. And I'm using like a, you know, corner, middle, corner technique, just like I did with the front. Giving it just a little bit of stretch. Wait a minute. Got that side. Come over to this side. Pin that in. The second one. And the third. So this is going to be my markings for my spaghetti strap pieces. I'm just going to stretch this one just a little bit. So you can see, this is going to be the spaghetti straps for the back of the shirt. Actually, I was thinking about doing 4 in the beginning, but 3 is actually better for this. This one's not quite in the middle, so I'm just going to move that over. And since I can turn this over because both sides of the fabric are the same grain, the same color, I'm just going to mark for my spaghetti straps, just enough so where it's visible. I'm just marking 1/4 of an inch lower than where it actually stops at. She got like a red for this, but I can see it. I know you probably won't be able to. And I also want to mark where I actually place these spaghetti straps. I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm pretty much all done with this portion. I'm going to go ahead and unpin this. And I'm going to go to the sewing machine. I'm going to put to the table. I'm going to put the facing on with the spaghetti straps inside so that I can go ahead and begin pinning and sewing this back portion. Once I do that, then I'm going to sew the side seam. So I'm going to do this first and make sure it fits right. So after I do that, I'm going to bring it back to the dress form, put it on, see how it's laying and flowing on my dress form, and then I'll pretty much be done. So we'll be back. For my back piece, I went ahead and placed my back piece down so I can see my markings, and then I went ahead and placed the front bodice on top. Now I have the facing up. So I'm going to extend out my spaghetti straps. Now I'm going to pin it in the same way that I did on the dress form. So on the dress form, the outer spaghetti strap goes to the crease. Where are you? Okay. And I'm just going to continue on from there. Second one goes in the middle. Third one goes right here. Same thing for the other side. Marking. Here we go. Make sure that's straight up. And the last one. You want to make sure that your spaghetti straps are flat. Okay, so I pinned that like that because I wanted to make sure I'm still getting the same effect visually, and I am. So I'm just going to kind of clean this up real quick so I can attach the facing. And I'm just going to take those pins out and put them back in. Just want to make sure visually I was having the same thing going on. And I'm doing this just like I did the front. Those match up. Now I'm going to see if I can give you the visual effect of this. Once I finish pinning it, it may be kind of hard to portray with pins in it, but I'll tell you why. I'm actually placing the garment like this and pinning it the way that I am. When you're making a garment that has one spaghetti strap, it's kind of easy to place them because you only have one point of insertion. But when you're doing it where there's 2 points of insertion for a spaghetti strap and it's hitting, there's a specific way that you have to sew the garment so that there's the front and the back is consistent, or both points of insertion of the spaghetti straps are consistent. Okay, so I have these in my spaghetti straps in here. I'm not going to cut them yet. I'm going to go ahead and stick a couple pins here and the rest of it just to anchor it down. Okay, so that's what I was telling you about the visual, trying to give you a visual of how it's going to look. When you sew this together, you're going to be able to flip this back out. When you flip that back out, this, the facing is going to be on this side, right? And this pattern, or this front piece, will fold over to the back. So when it folds over, your front piece is up and your front piece is up here. On your garment. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll get to show you better once I go ahead and sew these. I didn't want to disturb this too much because I want to get this sewn in. So I'm going to take this to the machine. I don't have to, you know, put it in any kind of funny ways. I can actually put it in front load it here into my machine and sew my my seam allowance. So I'm going to pause for a second and move the camera over here so you can see that. My spaghetti straps to my back piece and my back facing. I'm going to do the spaghetti straps first. I'm doing the same quartering seam that I did on the other one, on the front. And I got the first two done. I'm working on the third one now. You want to make sure that you have your straps extended so they're not being pulled in any of the incorrect directions. Sliding over my spaghetti strap a little bit. Okay, so we have our straps in. What I'm going to do is go ahead and cut these off. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off the attachment of the spacing. Okay, got that side done. I'm going to move over to the side. And you want to make sure you got your straps out of the way. Okay, so I have that done. Now I can do is flip my shirt inside out front, my back, everything is copacetic. So we can move on to attaching the front and the back. So I'll be back and I will go ahead and pin and attach the rest of the front. So here is the finished garment. You can see the front here and the back. And I am pretty much done. You see that the spaghetti straps is very consistent spacing through the back. It's not looking very flattering on my dress form, but I'm going to put it on and take some pictures so you guys can see. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll be back for much more. See you later.